blouse. Life is not bow tie and car. Life is wallahi rahamdullah walhabullah. You have turned me into an imam. If I must be an imam to speak to you, I will speak to you as an imam. Wallahi wallahi. Tell your neighbor sitting beside you, wake up! Wake up! It's not like that. Tell her it's not like that. It's not like that. It's not like that. It's not like that. He said, make sure, see that you make all things according to the pattern. Now let's start. What's the pattern of the tabernacle? Number one, white linen and God's presence. White linen. Exodus 26, verse 1. Moreover, thou shalt make the tabernacle with 10 curtains. How I wish I had 2 weeks. Thou shalt make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twined linen, and blue, and purple, and scarlet, with cherubims of cunning work shalt thou make them. Verse 2. The length of one curtain shall be 8 and 20 cubits. The breadth of one curtain 4 cubits, and every one of the curtains shall have one measure. Beautiful. Verse 3. 5 curtains shall be coupled together. Yes. One to another, and the other 5 curtains shall be coupled one to another. 10. Go back to verse 1. It said, thou shalt make the tabernacle with fine twined linen. Linen. And that fine twined linen, the color was white. Give me other translations. Change le version. NASB. Finely woven linen. Now, that's different ways of describing it. Twisted linen, woven linen, twined linen. That was a white material which was used to wall the tabernacle. White. And white linen is the environment in which God dwells. Can you clap your hands? The fence of the tabernacle was made of linen, and the linen was white in color. Do you want to have the presence of God in your ministry or your life? Then you will need to have a lot of white linen, which speaks of righteousness and holiness. If you do not build the tabernacle according to the pattern God God will not inhabit it, and his presence will not go with you in your personal life and your ministry. In Exodus 33 verse 14, he said, my presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. Verse 5, and he said unto him, if thy presence go not with me, carry us not hence. God's presence is found where there is righteousness. Holiness and righteousness. Anybody sitting here who is a crook, forget about God's presence. You are naked. You see, the two things the color white represents are righteousness and holiness. And they are not the same thing. They are not synonyms. Righteousness is righteousness. The very word itself should explain to you. The meaning of righteousness is righteousness. Doing what is right. Is it right for you to collect the man's money you have not paid him back? Is it right? The relationship you have with the girl, is it a right relationship? Is that a right relationship? Is she your wife? What were your fingers doing there? Is she your wife? And why are you disturbing somebody's marriage by having that type of relationship with her husband? Do you understand what you are doing? Is it right that we have all woken up at 4 o'clock, we are praying, having flow prayer, and you are sleeping? Is it right? And you are a lady pastor. You are a lady pastor. Ask your neighbor. When I say it, ask the neighbor, is it right? We are supposed to wake up at 4. We are praying, and you are sleeping. Your sister gave you 200 Ghana cedis. You have eaten all without tithes. Ask your neighbor, ask her. If you want to create a place where God will dwell, the fence is righteousness. The fence. Is it right? Is it right that money that all of us must benefit from, only you have collected all and you have put it in your car? Is it right? It's in your car. Is it right? You have to answer. Is it right? No, what you don't know is that what you've done, you've opened the door to evil spirits. You see, every time. Some of you don't know that certain things you've done, you've opened the door. It's after you are dead and gone that your grandchildren will live the accursed life. You see, I was listening to a message, and the pastor was talking about the patience of God. I was blessed. He said, the patience of God is what makes people continue to live. in a certain way. God is so patient that you can do something and your entire 90-year-old life, you will never suffer from it. He's patiently waiting for you to die. Then your son will rise up to start paying the rent. The patience of God. You want to have the presence of God in your life. And you've come to deceive us that your wedding is in September. And you've come to stand here and you are waving and you are announcing your colors: crimson, canary yellow, with jaundice blue and brown caramel. So as we are preparing our things to come, not knowing that you are more experienced than the reverend. A pastor comes and stands in front of you. Oh, Bishop, how are you doing? It's good. Wow. Beautiful. Can I? And you are presenting a facade of niceness and friendliness. Meanwhile, the day before, the things you were saying about him. Is it right? Righteousness will confront you every day. Every day. Every day. One day I was driving my car. I was going for flow prayer. I got to around Adenta barrier. There was no car. Then I asked myself that, but who sent you? Who sent you? Why can't you have the flow prayer meeting in your room? And I knew that Satan was there. And I answered that what my pastor has done for me, just sitting there saying preach on, is enough. I can't give him money. Just say that he will see me sitting there as he's leading prayer. It is a good thing. It is right. It is correct. It's a good thing. It's proper. It's a just recompense. Is it right? Is it right? That's what guides me. That's what makes me forgive you. Otherwise, you and I will cheer. But is it right to let go? And I ask you, is it right to forgive somebody? Yes, it's right. It's right because you have also been forgiven worse crimes. Worse crimes. What the brother has done to you is just 50 Ghana cedis. You owed $50 million. Even that one you've been forgiven. What are you talking about? Is it right? Today, I'm giving you a stick. It's called a measuring rod, a yardstick. Take it. I'm talking about people. I'm talking to people that I feel intend to have God's presence in their lives. Take that stick home, and every step you take, ask yourself, is it right? Is it right for me to sing at a convention that I have not rehearsed? Is it right? I should stop preaching. No, let's go. It's all right. It's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. But,
is it right?
is it right that you can sing, but we can't get a soloist in the church you are in, and you are rather counting money? Is it right? I'm preaching a very important message. I said, go home. Go home. You can even from now, just block your mind. Don't listen to anything. Don't listen to anything. This alone is enough. If you can live your life with this rule, you will have God's presence. You will have God's presence. Is it right? That's called righteousness. And it is different from holiness. Yes. I was telling a brother today, I said, your pastor had his birthday. You didn't honor him. You've gone to join yourself with a group and you went to present a gift to him in his office. That you are part of the group. You are deceiving your pastor. The gift that was sent, your money is not part of it. Is it right? You shouldn't have joined the group. You are giving a wrong impression. Is it right? I should stop preaching. Bishop Solo, please. No, I can't preach in a church where I'm not wanted. No. I'm going. No, but they don't want the message I'm preaching. Why should you join a group that is presenting money to your pastor? You've joined the group. In fact, when they sent the money, you stood up and spoke. Meanwhile, when they were collecting money, you did not join. Ask 3 people. Is it right? You've brought a girl to the house. She's your house help. Meanwhile, she has been your sex partner for 3 years. She lived in Ogoe. You have now, as the relationship is matured, you have told her to dress and wear slit and kaba. But she's sexier than your wife. Is it right? People who deceive, who don't honor, who give false impressions. Sons and daughters who are a false balance. You see, a false balance is that a father goes through a lot and makes sacrifices for you. And you can't make a sacrifice for him. He notices it. He sees it. As I'm talking even now, I've got names and faces in my head. Listen to me. The world, money, it is lying in wickedness. You and I, we need God's presence. So start doing the right thing. Are you married? You are married? The way you spoke to your husband 2 weeks ago, Saturday morning, was it right? Now let's talk about holiness. Can you sit down? Let me pray. Or as you go. Holiness is not fornication. It's not fornicating. Holiness is not betting. Money you should use to pay tithes. You are betting with it. Is it right? I shouldn't say it in Adenta church. Oh, I should select the things, the examples. I should select the examples. Online, is it right? Type in the comment bar. Is it right? Is it right? Say, Lord, have mercy on me. Holiness is different. Holiness is the state of being wholly dedicated to something, to God. That has nothing to do with sex, fornication, smoking, drinking. Holiness means that God is not sharing you with anybody. I'm preaching. That's holiness. So if you go to the tabernacle, the things in the tabernacle were described as holy utensils. Holy this, holy this, holy this. Is it that the chair didn't have a penis to fornicate? It means that the table on which the shewbread was lying was dedicated to the tabernacle only. How can you use your phone to watch flow prayer and the same phone does pornography till 4 a.m. and you switch to flow prayer from 4 o'clock to 8? That's not holiness. Holiness, the word when they say the Lord is holy, the Hebrew meaning is actually one. The meaning of holy is one. That's the holiness of God. He is one. Like as I see you, you are wearing your Makane choir uniform. Not showing that you are also a singer in Pentecost. I shouldn't preach it. As you're on the stage singing solo, that we think that you are a holy girl, not showing that just yesterday, one leg was up. One leg to the right side. I shouldn't preach. Bishop Solo, I don't think I want to have this convention here. Ogoe, I'm coming to your church. I don't, because no, they don't want the message I'm preaching. You can't be in the church, you are an usher, but you are also listening to Bob Marley, you are smoking weed, you are doing all manner of things. That is not holiness. God will never share his space with any devil, any sin, any lifestyle. When he says that you see, the fence of the tabernacle was white. And the meaning was that this building you are seeing is dedicated to God. Nobody uses it. It's not used to serve Baal. It's not used to serve Chemosh. White. Today, I came for you. You can't sit in church and have a boyfriend from Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He's blowing you continually, but your pastor knows you as a virgin. Even when they are doing drama, they use you as Virgin Mary. I'm preaching. Tell your neighbor, this nonsense must stop. You see, I'm saying that if you look, you can choose not to change, but expect that there is no God coming into your life. You are alone. You are alone. When evil comes, you are going to use your beauty and makeup kit to protect yourself. The next item, let me do two and then we close, is found in Exodus 26, verse 36. And thou shalt make an hanging for the door of the tent. The door of the tent. So now we have finished the fence. Righteousness and holiness. I'm talking about building a tabernacle for God. Now, when you enter the door, thou shalt make an hanging for the door of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen wrought with needlework. You will notice that among the things that were required, apart from the fine twined linen, there was also scarlet. Scarlet. You want to have God's aura? I don't know. What do you want? Or you want your husband, only your husband to be with you? Do you want God's presence? Then say scarlet. Scarlet. There's no tabernacle without white linen. Online. There's no tabernacle without scarlet. I'm preaching to you online. Watch me carefully. Scarlet speaks of courage and strength. Scarlet was a color that was used in the gates, the door, and the veil. It is important to be bold if you want to experience the presence of God. You can practically invoke the presence of God by being bold and courageous in your preaching, in your ministering, in your Christian life, in your church attendance. Be bold. That's scarlet. Bishop says, cowards do not deserve the presence of God. Some of you, when evil comes, there will be no buffer zone in your life. You see, the presence of God is a buffer zone. It's a buffer zone. It takes the shocks. Hey! Some shocks I've had in life, if I didn't have the presence of God, I won't be standing here preaching to you. But the presence is a buffer zone. I said, if you've not seen something before, then get ready. I came here to prepare you. I repeat the words of my pastor. It says, cowards do not deserve the presence of God. As you sit here, nobody knows that you are a Christian except in the church. I'm closing. You work in Department of National Lotteries. Nobody knows you. You have rather joined them and you have the lucky numbers. You are the one who keeps the lucky numbers. Lucky Zuzuzu. You are the one who does the perming before they publish it on Oman FM. You are the one who does the perming. Nobody knows that you are a believer. I'm preaching. Say courage. The people who enjoy God's presence, they stand up for him. They are known in the hospital as the nurse who is born again. Scarlet. Some of you in the church, you see, even how you are sitting, you look like a mouse. Look at the needs in the church. You come to church like a mouse. You go and sit in your chair. Meanwhile, you are a better singer than even the girl we are clapping for. The people who enjoy the presence of God, they are bold. They stand up and say, I'm there. I'm a believer. I'm in the UD. I'm Bishop Dark's son. You go and join devils to insult your pastor and your church. And you've come to sit here with your white handkerchief. It will turn to charcoal in your hand. Should I stop preaching? It's time. We can go home. Courage. Courage. I work for the Lord. I'm a believer. I said, I'm born again. You are known in your class as Osofo. Yes, in the church, you are the organizer of the Bacentas. You are the one facing Bacenta leaders who are late. Don't sit in the church, and normally they are at the back. Normally, they don't even come for conventions. Scarlet. Without scarlet, there's no presence. Hey, it's not about being a pastor. We are not talking about getting a title, LP or LR. No. Or reverend. No. Stand up for God. Scarlet speaks of courage to speak the truth. Yes. The things I'm saying, you need courage to say them. Yes. I am in scarlet too. I'm drenched in scarlet. I will tell you the truth. You can hate me, but I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you. That was what Mordecai. Daniel chapter 5 verse 7. The king cried aloud to bring the astrologers and the people. And look at, you see, he needed to know something. And he said, whosoever shall read this writing and show me the interpretation thereof shall be clothed with scarlet. Because you don't know what it takes to stand in front of a king and tell him something that is nonsense. You can lose your head. And many of you don't want to stand up and take the risk. Because in this world, there are places you will get favors from if you don't identify as a Christian. And if you don't identify with their beliefs. How is it possible that you attend church every Sunday, but it's been 3 months since your pastor saw you? You are a spiritual mouse, and your spirit will be a mouse spirit for the rest of your life. Yeah, you are a spiritual mouse. And as you are here, so you will be wherever you are. You will never be recognized. Stand up and be counted. Let the world know that you are a believer. I'm not saying stand up as in stand up. Let the world know you. Are you known as a believer in your classroom? Are you known as a Christian in your office? Or you are known as one of them? One of them. At work, they know you as a slay queen. I shouldn't preach it there. Today, I'm saying that there's no tabernacle without scarlet. Forget it. Forget it. Some of you should be bold and pay a price. You see, scarlet also talks about faith. Those who believe, like the spies who believe. That was the cloth Rahab hung on the wall. Scarlet. Faith that we are taking this place. My pastor has sent me to start a bacenta there. Me, my normal mind, I don't know how we can have a bacenta in that area. But my pastor has sent me. I'm going. That faith will drape you in scarlet, and the presence of God will fill your life. Tonight, God wants some of you to take a stand. Bishop Solo shouldn't be the only pastor in this church. But so far, he's the only pastor in the church. Many of you are carrying titles and so on. You know what you are capable of doing. I mean, Sammy, if you stood up as who you are, the pastor you are, you can. I mean, your backsliding state is 200 members on buses. That's when you backsliding. I have them in my church. We call them title holders. Without the graces and the proofs. Those who stand up and out boldly that I am a shepherd, I am a pastor, I am a believer. I'm talking about scarlet. Anybody who is timid in the system, forget about God's presence and God's voice. Forget about God's presence and God's voice. I can assure you, on the basis of God's word, that you are alone. He never steps out. He said, them that honor me, I honor. You don't know God. You don't know God. Those verses you are using are not. They are old verses. The current verses. Not every scripture in the Bible applies to today. You should know the times and the seasons, because the Bible is full of contradictions. One day it says love your mother, the other day it says hate your mother. What should we do? But when you have the presence of God, the voice it separates you from your siblings. It separates you from your classmates. Stand to feet and clap your hands for the presence. The presence of God is for the bold.
The presence of God.
Stand up and be counted.
Oh, Jesus.
Stand up and be counted. Online,
Lord,
clap your hands.
Lord, your presence, oh God.
Don't stop clapping. Courage.